This one is, I read this one and I kind of thought of it kind of sarcastically. I don't have the breed of the dog. I don't think it matters. But this person's dog seems to always be on the right side of him, whether it's in the fields, in the woods, on a trail or a road, when he grouse hunts. And when he said his dog is always on his right side, I'm thinking, well, that's great. You walk up a road, you got to come back. It'll be on the right side on the way back. But that also doesn't work in a popple stand, or if you're out west and
you want it on both sides.
You want it on both sides of you. So
wait, healing or
no? He's saying hunting.
No, hunting.
Oh, okay.
So he just seems to always be over there, like never crossing the track, never working like a windshield wiper.
Just always seems to be to your right. Yeah. Always. So now again, I'm putting the hat on. Like you're now trainers for somebody else coming to you with a question. Would you have a plan for something like that?
Yeah,
John?
you probably put it on a long chalk cord. It's on the right side. You walk to the left, and I use like one whistle too, just to tell them that's a turn. Okay. And when you're like, so this is in training. Like every time you tug on that, you're going to blow the whistle. But in hunting, you won't have to. He like starts to see like which way you're facing, which way you're walking, and then they start to pay attention to you, and you're not using the whistle anymore.
Right.
So everybody's like, "Oh, I don't want to use the whistle." Well, the whistle is like in the beginning.
Right.
You know, you got to get their attention somehow.
It's the language. Yeah.
So they're off to the right, long chalk cord. Get to the end of the chalk cord, quick tug, beep on the whistle, turn to the left, and start bringing that dog to the left. It starts going off to the left, beep. Bring it back again and go back and forth. So it's field handling.
Field handling.
Yeah, making it go in a windshield wiper pattern. And then, like I said, down the road, you do this enough, pretty soon you'll be walking through the field and all you have to do is just turn like this and the dog will see you're looking that way. Right. It'll just go that way. Scott don't talk to his dogs.
Right.
You don't need to.
Heather, you hunt out there you'll take Kip in one direction and Trent goes in another direction. Do you pay attention? Or does this dog always?
No, I feel Kip is a short hair, so he'll kind of go everywhere. And if I turn, he'll eventually turn too. Right. I think more like in the grouse woods is a little different. And then because of the training that Trent was talking about with the check cord and everything, like even Whiskey, without talking to him, if he's running the trail too much, because he does have a tendency to do that.
Right.
All you have to do is motion one way or another, and that dog's going to move and it's going to go.
Right.
You don't have to keep using that whistle, or you don't have to keep yelling at him. You can just point and he'll go in the brush there.
No, Ted, with a flusher, we know
it's all casting.
You have to, because you don't want a dog beyond bird range.
Right. So if I want him to go to the left, I just kind of.
Does that come from the yard retrieve, their yard drills, or does it just come from?
That would be a T drill.
Okay.
On like a blind retrieve, but it's more like, hey, over here, and they'll go over there.
Right.
But it's comes from a
Did you ever have one you thought liked one side better than the other?
No. Like they might get, like they said, like they might get stuck on a 2 tracks.
Right.
Or they smell like, I know probably all you like start mouse hunting when they're bored.
Mm-hmm. Mousing.
Like, it's like, no, stop. Like over here. Yeah. And as soon as they see me cast them to the left, they start hunting to the left or the right. But it's all yard work or drill work on T pattern for a flusher, like over here. And they're like, oh, okay.
You teach them hand signals.
Yeah.
Right. Scott, have you ever had a dog that was right-handed or left-handed?
No, not really.
Or have you ever had to work on it?
I've had to work on patterning and stuff like that. I think I would do what Trent said. I would put a check cord on it, move it to the left, hit the whistle, move to the right. I would teach it that.
Put a turn signal on
until you can control the dog,
mm-hmm.
and then go from there, right?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had it, but I don't know if I have or haven't had it, so it's not like I would say the same thing, though. I think that we'd all agree you just work on field handling.
Yeah.
And this might be a person that is new mm-hmm. and just keeps like, why is he always there? Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, with dogs, there's dogs that find birds to whatever side of a dog could associate something with that and go like, I'm doing it right. But without field handling, it goes kind of back to advanced handling. Yeah. Like, why do we advanced handle? Yeah. So we can change that situation if it comes up.
Yep. You're not going to fix that in the woods. It's going to be in a training field.
Right.
With a check cord.
This is a weird one, but I have a real thought on it, and I want to see how you guys go with it. People rode dogs, like they set up a 4-wheeler or a bicycle, and they get their exercise roding a dog. Some people will use a 4-wheeler and 4 dogs with no engine running and neutral. Some people do a bike, a mountain bike. Roding your dogs versus walking in the field for exercises.
Big difference. When they're running in the field, there's no resistance, and the longer you let them run, you're just training them like we want to call it when you're training on a bike or something, like endurance. You know, you're not building muscle, and then it takes a lot longer for them to get burned out if they're just, you know, running at their own lollygagging pace. Yeah. You know, they're not really trying very hard.
Have you roded your bike?
Yeah, well, for 100% on bikes.
And that's just for exercise.
Yeah, for exercise. And then if you got a short window of time, them pulling on something is building muscle, and you're getting more energy burned and muscle building in a shorter period of time, right? Okay. If you're just going to let them run the field forever. Mm-hmm. So they're working harder, tugging on that. And they usually is like a bungee cord or something.
Right.
And then you're also doing it on like gravel road, preferably. So that's toughening their pads. Okay. You go out west, because here in Michigan in the sandy soils where we hunt a lot, it's soft. There's nothing that's roughing up their pads. And we go out to North Dakota for a week, and we're busting pads. Like, we're dealing with pad stuff all the time. Yeah. It's tough out there. Cactuses, the grass is dry and sharp. So there's a lot of benefits to roding, I think.
Ted, what about?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never heard of like them pulling, but you find, I think Ukanuba or somebody, they have like an actual, like you find their trot. It's not a run, it's not a walk. It's
when their feet switch.
Yeah, and it's so you don't bust up like, their elbow, like if you're going to breed or something, you don't want to
talk about finding the right speed.
Right. And just like a bike or whatever, like you go on whatever 2-3 mile 4-wheeler, and some dogs will just run next to you, and some need to be on some sort of bar or whatever. But I do think for hunting, it's just like conditioning with a human being. Like if you're gonna go mountain goat hunting, you better start walking some hills. You better start walking some hills. I think there's a huge benefit to roding your dog.
Okay.
Just for conditioning, it has nothing else to do with that other than just getting them
cardio and muscle.
Yeah, cardio and muscle.
Scott, how do you feel?
I think sort of like with those guys, I agree with it. I don't, road mine. I mean, like on a bike or a 4-wheeler, just because I don't have that. But I've roded dogs. I mean, let them run down the road, right?
Right.
And I follow them, and then I do the exercise. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's good. I think you're building different muscles if you're pulling like a 4-wheeler or a bike.
Yeah.
I think you are building different muscles than maybe what you would if you're running a field, maybe slightly. But yeah, I don't know all that much about it. So.
Well, I heard somebody else talking about this, and this is kind of why I put this question in here. So if you had, now I'm changing the question a little bit. Most people don't exercise their dog enough preseason. Let's just say I'm guilty of it, right? If my dog could cover, if I took my dogs out with a bike or a 4-wheeler for 5 miles down a road, I feel like they're not learning anything. They're not hunting. Mm-hmm. But if I could take them on a 4-mile walk for exercise, no gun, are dogs meant to be muscular trained? Are they meant to be CrossFitters? Why would a 4-mile field walk not be better for the dog? He's going to be using never going to use his nose.
You want a treadmill, flat treadmill, pretty easy. Treadmill on an incline, a lot harder. Yeah. Right? You're working different muscles.
No athlete runs on a treadmill and learns how to throw or kick or whatever a ball. They just do it so that they can keep up with everybody else.
So when you're on a harness, I actually built a dog sled, like a wintertime dog sled, because we live on a rail trail, a bike path.
Right.
And in the wintertime, when the snow gets deep, it's hard to go out and walk in the woods in 2 foot of powder or whatever. Right. But you find like a plowed road, like an old, back dirt road or whatever. So I built a dog sled. And when you put a harness on a dog, they know, like, and that's what they're doing with it is pulling and pulling and pulling. Mm-hmm. They understand that it's different than when it's on, you know, like a neck collar. You know, when you're walking, they're not going to pull on that neck collar, but as soon as you put that harness on them, they're going to want to pull. And it's the same thing as the treadmill being here or being like this. You're just building muscle and making it stronger cardio dog and time length too. So how much time do you have after work? Do you have time to go for a 5-mile walk, or can you take your quad
for a 5-mile
1 mile,
right.
2 miles, half the distance, because you're doubling what they're doing when they're running, because there's restraint. Football players, they're pushing the sleds, they're pulling the tires, you know, there's resistance. So it's a time thing, it's a cardio thing, it's a muscular thing, it's a stronger dog. Like, there's benefits, and I don't do it. I wish I could,
right.
But I don't. I
mean,
don't
your own cardio.
Well, but I mean, I wish I could rode my dogs down a gravel road all summer long,
right?
Because I wouldn't have pad problems in the fall. Like Scott, I don't have the quad, I don't have the roading equipment. Like,
right.
I wish I could, but I don't. But I see the benefits of it.
Right. I guess I look at it. I'm being the devil's advocate. Is again, time versus miles is it's going to take you an hour to walk 4 miles, and your dog's going to put on what 12 roughly. It's only going to for you to put 12 miles on your dog on a 4-wheeler. It's only going to take you 18 minutes. You're going to go 8 miles an hour. So is conditioning the dog more important than field walks? You know what I mean?
What are you teaching them on your field walk?
That's what I'm getting at. You're not teaching them anything.
Yeah, and if there's no birds on your field walk, you're not teaching them nothing.
Yeah, but aren't they still looking for a bird? Because
then they start looking for mice, and they start looking for other stuff.
Yeah, they're
all right. Then I got to get a 4-wheeler.
I think it's a mental like. Are we just talking about physical exercise or mental? Like, are you trying to tire out your dog because it's the off season and you've been at work
or just
all
keep
day?
them strong?
Yeah,
right.
So mentally, they're just cruising through a field. They're not working their brain hardly.
You can tell when they're just lollygagging.
Yeah, but you're trying to make them do something like pay attention, stay in the speed, stay with the quads, stay with the other dogs. Like, that's mentally draining as well. So it's, you know,
Kip will yawn during stuff like that because it's like you're forcing him to focus on this one thing, and
he's
like, he'll yawn.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I guess my
in the
question
middle
is,
of running with a bike.
You don't ever want to go over the next hill and go find the next covey.
No, because the truck's the other way.
Exactly, and your dog doesn't want to either.
Right.
So
because he hasn't been conditioned.
What do you want to do? And
what I'm thinking about is the dog meant to be? Is the dog not athletic enough by just field walks? Like, why?
I think it comes down to time. Like, you're adding all that in a shorter time.
So if you don't have enough time, you're better off roading the dog.
Quick, yeah.
But if you got the time,
I don't think it's
because he's not gonna pull that. He's not gonna pull when he's hunting.
No,
he's gonna.
But you're just working the muscles.
But are we going to? I
don't think you have to pull. I think it's that trot. It does it's
sustained.
Yeah, it's
sustained.
Just you can run 5 miles without tongue hanging out or whatever, you know.
So it's not a matter of what it's learning; it's a matter of physical conditioning. Yeah.
So I think, to Trent's point, the people, all the field trialers,
right,
that do the 3-hour like all age field trials,
right.
They run. So I don't remember the time, but they run those dogs 2 hours straight.
Well, the big one is 3.
Like on the horses?
No, I'm talking about when they're training.
Oh, when they're training. Yeah.
They have a training regiment. They're hooked up to a pull cart.
Right.
Where they spend X amount of time on a pull cart every day.
Yeah.
And then they spend X amount of time in the field. And they claim that pull cart makes all the difference in the world and how long they can last.
Mm-hmm. So you got to do both.
All right.
If you want to be, if that's what you
I don't
want.
know the time, but I'm just saying there's a reason why they do it, right?
Right.
Yeah. One's learning how to treat birds, and one is so you can hunt longer.
Yeah.
And be in better shape. You do jujitsu. Why do you roll around on a floor with?
Because I think I'm a superhero and I'm immature in my head.
But that's what the dogs think. They think if they can run 10 miles without breaking a sweat, they're a superhero.
I guess we don't have to keep this part, Matt, or if you want to keep this part. It's just drove me crazy over the years when all the tests I've judged, and somebody will come up and usually the field marshal will say, hey, if anybody needs to run their dog or air them out, please use this field over across the street so you're not in the bird field, right? A lot of people come there, it's like, I have to let my dog out for 15, 20 minutes before it even hunts because it just has to run. You've heard this. I got to run the yayas out of my dog.
Oh, I have to do that.
And I'm like, how come the dog isn't hunting the minute you say hunt him up? Why does a dog need to run? It's like my grandkids running around the house in a circle. Mm-hmm. Why do they need to do that?
My dogs
pent up energy.
My dogs hunt right when you let them out of the truck, but I get a better hunt out of them if I air them out properly.
And does that involve a free run? Let them go?
I don't know about a free run, but like maybe throw some bumpers for them or some short blinds or whatever. Not like real hunting scenarios, but definitely test day. Like, I need to go.
You'd like to go off a field B that's not being used, and you'd like to.
Oh yeah, in the HRC, you can't even be on any ground associated with it,
right?
Because you can't use any type of training device on that day,
right?
So you have to go somewhere else. But yeah, if they get a little that they're so amped up to go do it, I feel like they blow by stuff. They're like, I want to do. It's like you said, like a grandchild. They're so excited to get the ice cream, they might run into your sliding glass, the sliding glass door. But if you kind of be like, we're gonna get ice cream in a little while, you have to calm down. You have to do this, and then they'll politely open the door. Like, my dog would run through a freaking
I'm thinking,
wall to get there.
I'm gonna run up to Cadillac, Michigan, and I got 2 hours in the afternoon to hunt. The last thing I want to do is have to let my dog exercise for 20 minutes before we go grouse hunt.
No, you're just going to get a 10-minute bad hunt in the beginning. It's just going to be running wild. And then after 10 minutes, then you're going to get
that could be the case. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, when you put your dogs down over the years, Scott, are they running their yayas out first, or are they hunting right off the bat, you think?
No, I think mine are just the opposite. So what I do is I go back to the back of the truck. I turn the collar on. I let my dog out. I tell them wait. They're not allowed to get down. I put the collar on. Mm-hmm. I'll let her down. I'll tell her to wait. And then I put my vest on. So what she does is she's in maybe an area as big as this room on that truck. She'll go pee. She'll go poop. She'll go pee again. And she'll be standing there waiting. When I get my vest on and everything else, and
tailgate's closed.
Tailgate, she's waiting to find out what direction are we going.
Right.
So when I pick the direction, she typically starts out, in my opinion, a little slow, right? I mean, it's sort of a fault of hers. I think she might go 20 yards down the road like this, and I'm like, knock it off, go. I mean, and then she starts hunting.
Yeah.
So she might just do something.
But she doesn't go self-hunt for 15 minutes.
No, she doesn't leave. I told her to wait.
Yeah.
She doesn't go anywhere until I'm ready.
Right.
And she'll be standing there looking at me like.
Now, does she slow down when she's tired then and kind of put the I haven't found a bird in an hour. I just kind of walk around.
But you got to remember, that's in her
DNA. Yeah.
I mean,
Trent, like when you and Heather came out to North Dakota a few years ago, you drove that extra truck out there.
Yeah.
And then you squeaked, like what I call, you got done socializing and dropping off the other truck, and then you hunted a couple spots on your way back. Now, your dogs have been in the truck for 2 days. Mm-hmm. Did you let them go run their yayas off somewhere? Or did you start hunting?
We started hunting. No.
I really feel like we do that.
No, I don't do it intentionally, let them run their energy off, but in the beginning of that hunt, they might just be running instead of hunting.
Right.
Like you can just tell when a dog's just running to run.
Right.
And then
you just see the difference.
And then all right, I feel good now. Like I'm like you warming up.
Now I'll check in with you once.
Yeah. And then you can actually see them like doing a good job of going around, smelling, paying attention, checking the right covers. In the beginning they might blow past a good cover or something, just because they're just ripping and roaring ready to go. But I don't intentionally stop before the hunt. Or sometimes if I know like a known spot, like this is where the birds are at.
Right.
I'll go farther down the road and start hunting farther away. So by the time we get to the good spot, they've already kind of are in their groove and they've lost that energy and they're just, you know, you're on the steady pace. You're just going, you're motoring and you're hunting and they're in the groove instead of get out of the truck and the good hunting spot's 20 yards there. And then all of a sudden, like they're just jacked and ready to go and they just blow right into it.
It's just something that's always, I remember somebody talked about that and I was like, I sometimes think that like, my thought would be that roading would just be making them want to run more than hunt. I don't know. I have no, but to your point, field trialers have been doing it for years for the endurance it takes to run their
I can't
competition.
I mean, those dogs have to be, I mean, those dogs are running 18, 20 miles an hour for 3 hours straight.
Yeah.
In this weather.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think it's making them
you're
want
talking
to
about the
run
horse,
more
the guys
than
on
hunt.
horses.
It's making them better at running.
Just giving the ability to,
because they know, like, you know, when a dog knows that they're on a harness and they're on a truck, like this is what we're doing. We're not hunting right now. We're just exercising. Right?
Yeah, we're just running.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start Roden Tagus and see how he does. All right, everybody. Oh, I am. Don't laugh at me, Heather. I'm going to have this dog in tip-top shape by September.
The tank.
Well, thanks everybody for coming over, and I hope I can drag you back here for another session one of these days.
That's fun.
Maybe it'll be just before season and maybe one after season.
Good deal.
Cheers. Can you say it?
Like and subscribe.
No, please like and subscribe. Say it. Please like
Subscribe.
and subscribe. Well, that's not bad. Please like and subscribe.